Hi, this is Valerie Grace. I want to share something with you that God has shown me in case it can help you as well. Essentially, my story is it's a tragic story of some difficulties that I went through, and God showed me that He could use it for my good. Um, so the beginning of the story is that I was in love with this man and engaged to be married, and I had been waiting for him for 12 years. It's a long story, but I'd just been waiting patiently for him, and we were separated for a long time, and then finally he came back to me and said he wanted to be with me, fully devoted, and he was so in love with me, and he wanted to be a Christian, and he wanted to serve God and read the Bible and pray. So I was really excited because he's the only friend I ever really had in this world, honestly. The only person I ever had a good time with, and we thought the same way, and we had the same just like likes and dislikes, and it was like a healing balm in my life to finally have this person in my life. And we got together, and some really tragic things happened. The first year we were together, I had several deaths in my family, and my own daughter almost died in my arms, and she was in and out of hospitals for a long time, and I didn't know if she was going to make it. And every night I couldn't sleep. I started to have panic attacks, and I was just so worried. And so I hadn't slept in months, and just a few hours a night at the most, and I was just really a wreck. And this guy and I had been together for about a year and engaged for about a year, and I always relied on him. He was my rock. He was my best friend, and he was so loving and just seemed to cherish me so much and give me so much love. And then after about a year, I ended up finding out that he was cheating on me, and he wasn't sleeping with anyone, but he was just texting them, a lot, and just flirting with different women. And I was in shock. I was in utter shock. And I brought this to him and I said, "What's going on? Do you not want to be with me?" And he said, "No, I do want to be with you. My whole family flirts with other people. And in fact, my brothers have sex with other women outside of their marriage all the time behind their wives' backs. And I feel like I'm a much more godly person than that. I wouldn't do that." He said, "Well, actually, I have had sex outside of my marriage and my girlfriend, and, I've cheated physically, but on you, I've never done that, and I won't." I was like, "I'm loyal to you." I just flirt a little bit. I don't even mean anything by it. I don't even notice that I'm doing it. I was like, "Okay, but if you found these text messages on my phone, how would you feel?" He said, "I would break up with you." And I was like, "Exactly." He said, I said, "This broke my heart. I believed in our love more than anything in this world. And this was the only thing you were the only person I've ever felt close to in my life. During this tragic time in my life, you would do this to me. Like, what is wrong with you?" And he got very angry, and he said, "Why can't you just forgive me? I won't do it anymore. Just forgive me. Just give me your love." And I said, "No, you're going to have to prove to me that I can trust you." So months went by, and sure enough, I found more flirting on his phone, and he kept doing it. And I must have forgiven him and taken him back more times than I can count over the next few years. And I kept trying to break up with him, and he'd come back and swear on his life and promise, and he'd cry and pray in front of me and ask God to help him. And I thought I was being a Christian by forgiving him and taking him back, so I just kept doing it. But in my heart, I was like, something is just not right. This guy is just not right in the head. There's something wrong with him or something. And I was really lamenting over this, and I was just crying out to God, "God, my life has been so wretched, and I've been so alone, and now I thought you gave me this guy, but he's horrible to me. Like, what's going on? What do I do? Do I break up with him?" And God said, "First of all, I want you to put this aside. Put this relationship aside for a second. Put your decision aside for a second. I want you to just put me first." So I was like, "Okay, I'm going to put you first." And I said, "What do you want to teach me from this? How can you use this for my good?" And he said, "Well, here's how I'm going to use it for your good, first of all. Just remember that everything that Lee has done to you, you have done to me." And he had me go over all of my complaints about Lee and all the things that he had done, and each one individually. He showed me how each thing that Lee had done against me, I had done to God. And I'll just give you a few examples. Number one, I said, Lee gives me all this love all the time, everything I could possibly want and more. But then he goes off to work and flirts with other women and forgets about me until he comes home. And God said, isn't that exactly what you do to me? Don't you lavish me with prayer and worship in the morning and read your Bible and pray? And the rest of the day, you do exactly what you want, putting the world first and putting your mind first and survival and worrying about this and that. He said, and then you come back to me at night before bed, and then you expect me to be fulfilling you on every level and to give you everything you need and all the miracles in your life that you need. You're expecting all of this love from me and devotion, but you're giving me very little. And he said, and also, don't you notice that Lee said that he's not physically cheating on you, therefore you shouldn't be that mad at him. But that's exactly how you feel, as if you have a right to get everything from me because you're not sinning against me and breaking my laws during the day. Since you're not breaking my laws and sinning per se, you think that you have a right to have everything from me. But yet you forget about me, you betray me, and you cheat on me with the world 90% of the time. He said, just like that, Lee is saying he's not so bad because he's not cheating on you physically like his brothers do, that he's a godly man compared to his brothers. Yeah, you think that you're a godly woman compared to the world. You think that you're a Christian and a devoted Christian compared to your neighbor. But actually, you barely put me first in your life at all. And you could do a lot better to get closer to me. So I was like, wow, I had no idea, Lord. I'm so sorry. I had no idea. And he said, that's another thing. You know how you think that Lee is a sociopath or a narcissist or he's got something mentally wrong with him? He said, that's how it feels connecting with you. That you have something wrong with you, that you think that worshiping me a little bit here and there and acting like you're so devoted to me and then demanding that I give you everything. He's like, there's something wrong with your thinking. You're not thinking straight. And you're not reading my Bible deep enough. You're not understanding who I am deep enough if you think that's all that I need from you. Like, I want to be so close to you. I want you to be in love with me just like you want Lee to be with you. It's like, I want to be first in your life. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve the world, Lee, his children. You cannot serve your relationships with others first ahead of me and then demand everything from me. He said, there will be no more provisions for you, no more miracles for you until you put me first. I was like, wow, I had no idea I was so negligent of you, God. He said, exactly. You did not even know you were this negligent. You were so sleepy. Your spirit is so sleepy that you don't even realize it. That's how not close to me you are. He said, but if you put me first and you fight your flesh, he said, you have to fight your flesh and win. You have to put all of your heart and soul and effort into putting me first. He said, if you run towards me as passionately as you can, if you run towards me, if you fight yourself for me, if you fight your mind and your flesh and your desires and the world for me, then I will fight for you. If you run to me, then I will run to you. He said, just like you tell Lee all the time that you're not taking another step toward him, to giving him your love and a devotion until he's loyal to you and takes a step towards you. He said, that's exactly what I'm telling you. I will not take another step towards you until you run to me. And then when you run to me, I'll run to you at the same time, just as fast as I can. I will run to you even faster than you're running to me. He said, I will bridge that gap. But you have to run to me first, because I'm not going to force you against your will to choose me. And I'm not going to give you all these miracles you ask for until you serve me. And I had no idea, you guys. I did not know. I was blown away by these messages. And I did ask God to do this. I did ask God to slap me around. I said, God, if I'm not paying attention to you, please, you have my permission and request to slap me so that I wake up and come back to you. And so he did. He did. I have not had an easy life, you guys. I'm not saying mine's been harder than anyone else's. We all have our difficulties. But I have felt so alone in this life, and I was pitying myself, and I thought that God would pity me too. But instead, God said, look, you brought all these tragedies into your life. You made the decision not to ask my will before you made all these decisions. You brought this upon yourself. You brought all the tragedies in your life upon yourself. And you didn't put me first. And now you have to put me first if you want me to help you out of the messes that you're in. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. And I love you so much. And please pray if God has any message for you in this video, that he take a hold of you and show you what he wants you to do for him today and every day, so that you can be close to him every day and every hour of the day. I love you all. Talk to you soon.